it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it.
It's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. It's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he, and we are back for another week of shenanigans and such. Oh man, thanks everybody for tuning in. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as YouTube. So please go to our YouTube channel, and it's under Empower TV Network. Please like, subscribe, and most importantly, share. Let that channel grow. But thank you for tuning in wherever you are. If you are on Facebook, please share. If you are on LinkedIn, please share. Let everybody know about the show that you're watching. I'm joined today by my panelists. We have Lori Parker. How you doing?
How you doing?
Well, so good she had to say it 3 times. And Mr. CJ Jones, how you doing, sir?
Why that is around about that time. My favorite time, well, one of my favorite times of the year. And I'm just pretty soon I'm going to be 1 year older.
Oh, that.
Oh.
I thought you meant Cowboy Elimination Day.
Oh, here you go. It's already starting already.
Boy, even when we win a few of them, we still can't get no credit, boy.
Nope, not at all. Good evening, Erica. How are you? No. I got a text the other day from a deranged Cowboy fan named Woodrow. And Woodrow McManus, and
really?
Oh yeah, you know Mr. Woodrow McManus.
Yeah, we went to school together.
Yeah, Woody. So yeah, he's about. How about him? And I'm like, not yet, please don't do that.
No, actually, I guess he better get it in now.
Well,
because
you know,
I don't, because honestly, I
don't
don't see too many more. I don't see too many more.
I don't know. I mean, you could, but
I
told him,
we might. I say like looking at our schedule, we might can slide in a good 2, maybe 3 more.
Wow. Well, I'm more optimistic than that. I think you guys can win at least 10 or 11 games, maybe 12.
Not if. Okay, so what wins a game? Points. I love my defense. My defense is awesome. But if you can't put nothing on the board, how are you going to win? And our schedule is more and more formidable.
Well, that's why I don't, when you said earlier about giving credit, that's why I'm like, well, I can't, because you ain't really beat nobody yet unless you talk about the first game against Cincinnati. But if you look at how they've played so far, that win doesn't look that good unless they turn their season around and start playing like they did last year. If they go back to
the part that really trips me out, because it seems like everybody plays like crap until they play us. And then all of a sudden, all them skill sets come out. Like, everybody healed up and they ready to play and everything. And then you see them play other teams and you're like,
yeah, why didn't we get them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, sometimes when you're stigmatized as America's team or everything else, you're going to get everybody's best shot. People are going to play out of their minds for you because they're coming for you, because, whether it's the history or whether it's something recent and people have tagged you to be a certain thing, you're going to get everybody's best shot. So or if it's a Sunday night game or a Monday night game where everybody's just watching that one game and the attention isn't spread around everybody else. A lot of people play up for those kind of games, and then when you look at them and go, "Man, y'all didn't play out of your minds last week." Well, we weren't playing you guys, So
I mean, they were playing like pure trash with those other teams, and I was just like,
"So
wow, that's
what I told him, or what I tried to tell him is, wait till after Philly, wait till after LA. Let's really see how you look in then." And then if there's some credit to be
now,
due,
that would be the test, honestly.
As much as it will hurt me to give credit, if I can say, hey, you really beat somebody, then I will give you the credit. And see, you got to remember this. If I come on here and really give Dallas credit, you really earned it, because I ain't just going to willy-nilly give y'all no damn credit. You're going to have to damn near snatch it out of my hands. So once I give it to you, bro, you really got it. I laugh because every time the Dallas Cowboys win, my Facebook page is flooded with comments, and I'm just like, y'all need to relax. Ain't nothing wrong.
But see, you know what? You in a sense, you're kind of like becoming like the Stephen A. Smith, like amongst your own circle.
Wait a minute. You need since you have on your black today, you need to put on your black cowboy hat.
I might do that.
So Stephen A. Smith, when he had on his cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
And I got a cigar around here somewhere. I'm looking for it. But yeah, I know I got a cigar. So
but yeah. So I mean, no, but yeah, I'm like, okay. So yeah, so we don't get the credit for the wins that we do snatch. Well, and so it's always and okay, and then like for the wins that we do get, it's okay, well, this player wasn't playing, or this person was hurt and injured.
Okay, but let me ask you this. So let me ask you this.
That's football, is it not?
Well, and this is what we have
injured players.
CJ, I always concede the fact that you can only play who's on your schedule. I can't get on you for not competing against somebody that's not on your schedule. But what I'm saying is that if I put, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. If West Charlotte beats up on Oakdale Elementary School, should West Charlotte be running out there going, "We won. Did you see that hit? Did you see that sack? We going to the state championship"? No, because your competition wasn't on your level. So when you beat Washington, who you should have beat by even more than that, to your point, if you had an offense, what am I going to give you credit for? You won a game you were supposed to win.
I was really wanting. I was now. I have to agree with you there. Because that score should have been doubled.
Yeah. So
that score should have been
do I give you credit for the mere fact that it's a W?
Well, like I said, now had we lost,
well, but see, a lot of times it doesn't go both ways. If a team that's not supposed to beat you beats you, it's more about them than you, because they actually beat you.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen the Sweet 16 where David comes in and beats Goliath? If a number 16 beats a number 1, everybody's crazy because the 16 beat the 1. But once the 1 beats the 16 by 75 points, ain't nobody losing their mind, because that was expected.
Yeah. Well, actually, as you're continuing to talk, Anthony Price had a comment where he said that it doesn't matter if you make it, you still have to down next year.
Oh, I love it. But see, Anthony, that is true. But see, this is what I've been saying. And if you want to catch more, Anthony's been on it too. But we have our football show, which I'm not going to turn this into the football show. But we have Head-to-Head Sports every Wednesday at 6 p.m. with myself and my co-host, Mr. Randall.
Watch it.
And the thing that you got to remember is this. The way the playoff system works is this. The top 4 teams that are in the playoffs won their divisions, meaning the North, South, East, and the West of each conference, the American and the National. There are only 7 playoff spots, and 4 of them are attached to the division winners. The other 3 are what we call wild cards. So what that means is that the next 3 have to be the 3 best outside of the conference champions.
Right.
So the problem with the math with Dallas is if the Rams win the NFC West, if the Green Bay Packers or the Minnesota Vikings win the NFC North, if Tampa Bay wins the NFC South, then that means that you are left with teams like San Francisco. You're left with teams like New Orleans, Detroit. I can't believe I'm saying that. There's some other heavy hitters that may not win their division. If Philly wins the NFC South, then Dallas has to come in as a wild card. 2 teams vying for that wild card spot that you would have to jump over. It's not impossible, but it's going to make it real tricky. So you can't slip up and lose games that you're supposed to win. You got to win the ones that you're supposed to win, and then you got to steal a couple of them too, just to be in the mix of a wild card. That's how it works. So if you don't win your division, now you got to work even harder to get in as a wild card. So that's just the reality of it, and that's how it works. So it's not that it's an impossible thing, but there are some things to overcome with that. So, but you guys got a shot. I mean, you're looking good. I'm very impressed with your backup. I give him a lot of credit for being able to come in there. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's not carrying the team, but they're not winning in spite of him. They're not winning necessarily because of him, except for the fact that he's not making mistakes. Yeah. He's being very efficient. He's doing what he's being asked to do. He's making the throws when he needs to make the throws. So that's a good thing. I thought they were going to collapse once Dak went out, but they actually rallied behind Cooper Rush, and they're actually playing some really good ball considering the circumstances behind him. Because normally your backup quarterback, people don't understand this, but your backup quarterback doesn't really get to practice with the starters. No. He practices with the other backups. So for him to be able to come out there cold and play with guys that he hadn't been throwing to all week, just because they're on the same team, they don't all play together. Right. What happens is Cooper Rush leads the second team against the first team. Right. So he's used to throwing to the backups. He's used to taking snaps from the backup. So now when he has to come in and play with the starters and there's no chemistry, there's no rhythm and all that stuff, and he's still able to get things done on time. Hey, and see, me being a Carolina Panthers fan, I can look at the opposite of that. I got a quarterback that practices with the first team every day, and his balls batted down the line of scrimmage. So I know my team's sorry. I just leave it at that. But I accept that. I ain't got no visions of grandeur that they going anywhere other than right back into the club. So that's it. Anyway, that's enough about the football because Lori looks like she's extremely bored about football. But Lori, I got some good news for you, and other women out there. If your man is a football fan, but a sports fan in general, I got some great news. The NBA is right around the corner. You ain't never gonna see your man till February or March. I'm telling you. Because the preseason of the NBA is here. It's in full swing. And guess what, ladies? That also means that college basketball is right around the corner, too, where you'll start seeing the Maui Classics, Big Ten ACC challenges, and everything else. So, yeah, I hate it for you. It's going to be college basketball, NBA, NFL, college football. Hell, he better not be a hockey fan, or you might as well just move out.
For real.
It's going to be rough on you. Yeah.
We'll survive. We'll be okay.
Or become a fan very quickly.
And I'm a fan, but I will also say, but we'll be okay. Thank you for your caring, but we'll be all right.
Anthony Price says, "Let's stop talking football before I say Tom Brady." Well, why, Anthony? We can be like AB and just slide into Giselle's DM post.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that too soon? Okay.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
All right, y'all. So we are back for another week. Y'all, it's been some crazy stuff going on all freaking week. I'm gonna go ahead and just lead off with the Herschel Walker thing first because
Oh God.
might as well get it on out of my system. You know, I don't, you know, everybody's talking about the whole thing with Herschel Walker, and it is something. It's a what I call a story non-story, only for the simple fact that Herschel Walker did what a lot of people have been protesting, have been fighting for to do all this time, which is have the right to privacy. It appears that at a certain point, Herschel Walker and a young lady that, as his son calls it, was banging, his ended up with a pregnancy, and they both came to the conclusion that it wasn't the right time to have a baby, so they would have an abortion. And Herschel sat there and helped her pay for the abortion, and even sent her the reimbursement check of her expenses plus the abortion in a card that said "Get well," sign H. So that was really nice. Well, the problem isn't anything like that. That happens all the time where two adults make a decision that they're not ready to pursue a pregnancy, and early on in the process they decide to get an abortion. That is privacy. That's what people do all the time that we are not made aware of. The reason that this story has gained so much traction is because of the hypocrisy of Herschel Walker and other right-wing theocratic whack jobs that think that their religion and what their interpretation of their religion, better yet,
there you go,
to believe that they should be the moral authority of everyone else, even if it includes what you do with your own damn body.
Yeah.
Now, we don't go around telling dudes, hey, if you're out there banging and stuff like that, we just gonna snip and keep y'all from getting these women pregnant. I don't see anybody going around with a bunch of snips, giving out vasectomies. Exactly. Or, you know, getting in the guy's healthcare business and say, hey, you know, you got a limp monster there. What's going on? We're gonna have to give you this medicine and make them nice and strong because we need you to have babies, and we can't have you firing blanks and stuff like that. Or when the time is right, I can't have you. You know,
so sad, so sad.
We ain't invasive like that, are we? You know, I'm old enough to remember where they said stay out of our bedrooms.
Oh yeah.
You know, keep the government out of my bedrooms. I used to remember where they used to talk about Obamacare, talking about putting the government in the doctor's office with the doctor and their patient. See, things are always one way when it's your benefit, and then when you need it not to be your benefit, then you say something else out your mouth. So Herschel Walker now talks about he's about life. He loves the Lord Jesus, and he's banging on Raphael Warnock, who is a minister who apparently supports abortions, and he's a minister, and he can't figure out why that's okay. So he's making all these things about abortion should be banned totally outright, should be a federal ban, not just, you know, for the longest, their points was, well, we think the Supreme Court overreached because this should be states' rights. Each state should decide what goes on with abortion, which is stupid. You can't have different states saying different things like that. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, if you take him at his word, it's states' rights. Well, then why are y'all now talking about federal bans? You know, Lindsey Graham let the cat out of the bag. I thought abortion was banned. It's not banned in every state.
Not in every state.
And some states had automatic abortion bans once the Supreme Court rolled back the Dobbs decision with Roe v. Wade. But abortion is still legal in several states. And
you also have a handful of states. I don't know them like right off the top of my head. Even for those states that did take this on, you have the governors that's not going to enforce it either. So it's like it's like 2 or 3 states specifically that their governor said, I won't enforce it.
Yeah. So Anthony, when they rolled Dobbs back, it didn't ban abortion. What it did was it said that the states could decide on abortion in their states. But we knew what that meant immediately for a handful of states. There were a handful of states, particularly what we call red states, that lean to the right or Republican, had laws already on their books that did ban abortions. But once the Supreme Court ruled Roe v. Wade, that superseded the laws on their books. Once Roe v. Wade was turned back, those laws were what we call triggered into effect, meaning that now they could go forward. It's like if I got a law in my state of North Carolina that says that you can't do a certain thing, but then there's a federal law that supersedes it, well, then my state law is pretty much parked to the side. If the federal law is ever rolled back, then my law now becomes effective again. So that's what Roe v. Wade basically did. Was it for a lot of states, it allowed them to be able to reenact their laws on the books. And then there's a lot of legislatures in some of these red states that if they didn't have trigger laws, now they've taken the wink and nod from the Supreme Court to go ahead and enact abortion bans, because now they know that if it gets challenged to the Supreme Court, more likely than not, they're going to win the challenge. So it wasn't an outright ban. But a lot of the GOP used to just try to run on this to gather a lot of their theocratic side of the party, their evangelicals, those that abortion means a lot to them. So if you run on something, if I know that a certain issue is very, very important to you, I'm going to run on it. I don't really have any intentions of ever doing it, but I know that it means something to you.
Right.
You know,
I'm just going to tell you what you want to hear. That's all.
Yeah, I'm going to keep
that's all it is
in front of you because I know it's something that means a lot to you. Right.
That's it.
Well, they literally are the dog that caught the car, because if you ever seen a dog sees a car, dog runs after the car. Now, if the car stopped, the dog would be like, oh, oh, damn. Okay, what do we do now? Because the dog ain't never get that far in his thinking. His thinking is just to chase the car.
Exactly.
But what if you ever caught it? Well, he ain't thought about it that far. And Republicans never really thought about actually catching abortion, which is why they got caught off guard when it actually happened.
Right.
But now, so when it passed, a lot of them didn't get in front of it and say, oh yeah, we're going to run off of that, because they look at polls and they know that it's a very unpopular position to say we're going to run on abortion and abortion bans. That's why they're not saying it. That's why they're getting upset with, that's why they're getting, yeah, I do in a second. That's why they're getting upset with folks like Lindsey Graham for going out there and basically giving away the ball game. Talking about he wants to have a federal abortion ban after 15 weeks. It's like, wait a minute. I thought you wanted this to be a states thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and then you got Herschel Walker out there talking about, well, I believe in abortion with no exceptions, regardless if it's for the health of the mother. Now, the one thing to understand about Herschel Walker, CJ, too, is he really doesn't have an original idea at all.
Oh, God, no.
He just basically mimics what he hears. So he probably doesn't even understand that when you say an abortion with no exceptions, I don't really think he even understands or cares to understand what that really would mean in reality. So to put it in terms, that would mean, hey, Herschel, the lady that your son said you were banging, that y'all decided to get the abortion with, if the doctor came back and said, we have to abort because she could die if we don't, you're saying now that if that was an option, she'd be dead.
Exactly.
Oh,
see,
no,
people,
no,
see,
no, no.
see, people.
Not for me, but for thee.
Right, exactly. So basically, that's one of those things where, like you said, especially on the far right, they put so many red herrings out there to where they just they literally just fall on their own swords. You know, they're so busy trying to set up, you know, bogus situations, wordplay, word traps and stuff, and they choking on their own spit. And frankly, I mean, I find it hilarious every time. I mean, you can just open up any platform you have, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I mean, and if you want to have a really good laugh, just entertain yourself about a good 30 seconds to see just how much they contradict themselves. And mind you, it's not like they don't know that they're not being recorded. It's not like they don't know that we can pull receipts from when they first, you know, had a real strong opinion on 1 year, you know, back when they were commentating, and then 4 or 5 years later, now they're really strong about the very opposite.
Yeah.
That, to me, that is like the funniest thing. Like, really?
Well, you know what, CJ, to your point with that, the reason that I don't think they really care about the tape is Fox News ain't gonna play that tape. OAN ain't gonna play that tape. So they know that their hypocrisy isn't going to necessarily be exposed on the platforms that their constituents and viewers absorb all that news. The only ones that will be able to see that are going to be the ones on the mainstream media sites that care to play that, to be able to show you, well, wait a minute, didn't he just say that 2 years ago, and now because they're not in power, he's saying something the total opposite? Of course. But you're not going to get Tucker Carlson sitting there saying to Lindsey Graham, hey, Lindsey Graham, didn't you say a couple years ago that if y'all were in charge of the presidency and it was election year, that you wouldn't sit there and appoint a Supreme Court justice, that you would give the next administration the right to put their own person in? Ain't he Comey Barrett, huh? You know, so they don't do it. The hypocrisy is the point. And you could really argue too, they really don't care about abortion. It was always
they don't
thing. And to prove that point more so than ever, Lori, go ahead and take we're gonna play this clip of Dana Loesch, who's a right-wing talk show host, and she basically gave the game away. Go ahead, Lori.
Walker used his money to reportedly pay some skank for an abortion. So I don't care if Herschel Walker paid to abort endangered baby eagles. I want control of the Senate.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Eagles. I want the Senate. So you're saying that all this stuff that y'all been clutching your pearls about doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters is power.
That's it. That's all that's ever mattered. Listen, when I first started looking at politics, listening to people's speeches and stuff, like, I really didn't start getting into it till basically about the time that we met each other, like for the first time. And I'm a quick study though. When I started looking at just like, I didn't know you had speech writers and and they basically go back and regurgitate someone else's great speech from times back and everything. And I was just like, in a sense, it kind of turns you off, but in a way, it should turn you on more. But this is why they don't want for minorities, people of color, to even go into politics or any of those things, because they know that once we're already uncovering a whole lot of things as it is, and this will be kind of like the final frontier of everything that has been hidden and covered and everything. So the most important things, they try to make it boring. They try to make it so long to where like you lose interest in stuff, because it's not something explosive, something stupid, something ignorant, something centered around sex, because those are the things that get your attention. Those are the things that cause you to want to click view, you know? So they try to make it dry. They try to make it boring. They try to make it, you know, they try to push that whole secret narrative. Oh, your vote don't matter. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Da, 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 da. As long as they can keep you in the dark, as long as they can keep you asleep like that, you're right, B. That's why they don't really fear the boomerang effect of their hypocrisy, because they know that even if they are exposed, they're just gonna red herring the hell out of it, and be like, oh, that tape was modified or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and CJ, the part about it, you're right. What they basically do is they condition their audience to not trust anything that they see outside of the platforms they originally look at.
Yeah.
So they condition them to believe that, hey, even if you see something that looks contradictory, it could be a deep fake, it could be some play on words, something taken out of context, it's fake, all this stuff. It's a hoax. They use those words to make them already question anything other than the people that they normally trust to hear things from. Yeah. But what you're really doing is you're insulting the intelligence of your own viewers.
Oh, they know they got a dumb audience.
That's the thing that gets me.
They know they have a dumb following. They know that. Like, they don't even hide that. They actually say it, like, on their own platforms. And that's the part that makes me laugh, because I'm like, now if anybody had any inkling of intelligence, you should know as a viewer that they just insulted the hell out of you.
Yeah. It's like they're lying to you, and you're allowing it, and it's almost like you're almost saying, "I'll have another, please." Keep lying to me, because I would rather you do that than to give me a bunch of truth that I have to accept. I want you to play all the hits, critical race theory. My kids are going to schools and identifying themselves as furries, and the schools have litter boxes in the schools.
They're coming after you. They're raising your taxes. I mean,
right. Oh yeah, selection season.
The top 10 hints. The top 10 hints of fear. The top 10 hints.
I'm gonna jump into that too, because this whole thing with Hurricane Ian is really, really interesting because of the way they vilified immigrants. But before we go into that, let's take a look at one more person that has something to really say about Herschel Walker and his hypocrisy. Go ahead, Lord.
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. And my favorite issue to talk about is father absence. Surprise, because it affected me. Christianly values people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values?
Now, this is not
silent lie after lie after lie. The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it. Okay, I'm done. Done. Everything has been a lie.
If unfamiliar, Christian Walker is referring to a recent report by the Daily Beast, which reported Walker paid for her abortion. The outlet included a receipt showing a $575 payment for the abortion, plus a get well card from Walker and her bank deposit records showing the image of a $700 personal check from Walker dated 5 days after the abortion receipt. And his defense?
You sent a $700 check, and that you sent it in a get well card. The get well card, it looks like it's included with your signature in the article.
I haven't seen it, but I can tell you, I send out so many get well, send out so much of anything.
What about the $700 check? Is there anybody you can remember sending that much money to?
Well, I send money to a lot of people.
And so for the right to say I'm being suspicious for saying, hey, I'm done with the lies, when you all have been calling me saying, is this true about your dad? Gosh, we're not going to win Georgia, this candidate, all that's been you. You have no idea what I've been through in my life. You have no idea what me and my mom have survived. We could have ended this on day one. We don't lie on my mom. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man. Y'all should care about that. Conservative.
Is he mad? He big mad. Bro. He big mad.
Hey, Anthony, what did you mean by, was that Fox News or CNN? I missed what you were tying that to. He says, Walker signing anything I see. Well, yeah, well, Herschel Walker, when you look at him answer,
I've seen a lot of money.
His eyes so beady, he like, well, like, bro, just answer the question.
He don't even know what he is half the time. Stop.
CJ, they ask him one thing and he started talking about how much he loved the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm like, bro, they didn't even ask you that. And then he says, well, they're just trying to use my past against me, but I've been redeemed. Bro,
listen,
that is not to get out of jail free.
He ain't gonna be no more crucified than what he ain't gonna be no more crucified than what we did with Trump when he said grab him by the feet.
I understand enough about redemption to know that redemption is about admitting and saying what it is that you did wrong and asking for forgiveness and repenting of that action and turning away from that action.
Right.
You know how kind of repentance and redemption works?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So this ain't the what I don't like section.
Right.
I damn sure don't like people hiding behind Christianity.
That is my big Brian. You ought to know that is my biggest pet peeve
because that turns people.
That is my biggest pet peeve.
You know why? Because the whole idea of Christianity is to be a better person. A better person, but to be a symbol to everybody else to say, hey, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to own up to your sins and be able to repent and walk away from them. And that's how you draw others into the same life, right?
Right.
Because now they see how it's changed.
And they feel like if you can do it, I can do it.
But
and it's an encouragement thing.
But when you cheapen and you prostitute Christianity that way,
exactly.
Who wants to be a dadgum Christian?
Exactly. And that's what has turned people off. I've had so many conversations with so many people of all kinds of ages, all kinds of backgrounds. And one of the main things that I come to in my conclusion is that it's at first it was kind of like they were asking like millennials, like they was trying to like get this like report to say like we've fallen away from our faith in God, and most millennials their response was like, no, we haven't fallen away from God. We just pretty much see through the BS, and we don't want no part of that. And then whenever you begin, and then when they begin to break it down, they begin to say pretty much what you're saying right now, B, and that is somebody kind of repeated, I believe it was Gandhi that said, I love your Christ, but it's the Christians that I have a problem with, or something like that. And that's what it really boils down to.
Yeah.
People don't have the problem with the faith line itself, whatever the faith line is. It's the people that hide behind the title of that, proclaiming that and using that as a safety net or a springboard or as an excuse to continue to live out whatever perverted life that they live in.
Yeah,
and that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, the spirit behind anything that makes you feel whole and complete and gives you a set of principles, I can respect that, because I'd rather be in the presence of somebody knowing that they really understand what it is that they believe and they stand in that belief. Not that I just sit there and use it to my convenience like that. If you're going to live it, but don't sit there and use it as a shield to say, well, you can't question me because I've been redeemed.
Right. And that's my only thing. That's my only thing. Just be you. You be you.
Yeah.
But man, you're supposed to be an example. And claim a title of anything of the clergy, then you better be clergy-like. If you're gonna be claiming to be anything, just walk it.
I'm sorry. So we got a couple of comments in here.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we got Erica says, wow, he's big mad. Anthony, I didn't know abortion was that cheap. Just playing. Yeah, bro. Why you go to the convenience store and get a couple of lottery tickets?
Oh, dang. I didn't even see what Anthony said.
You get an abortion. Sheikah says, I'm not a Christian, but you're right on, Brian. Thanks, Sheikah. Erica says, exactly. And then Anthony says, the more Walker talks, the more I want to punch him and take his black card away. Well,
did he ever have one?
Anthony, I'm a disappoint you a little bit. I ain't gonna say don't punch him. That's up to you and your God. But I think even if you turn him upside down and shake him as hard as you want to, bro, you ain't gonna find no black card.
Bro, that's what I say. Did he have
look, his black card and Tiger Woods' black card is in the same ball.
OJ.
Remember, people feel that people were all a monolith and we all belong together. So unfortunately, he is claimed.
CJ, did you say OJ too?
Oh yes, sir. Please believe.
Oh, and I got another person's that needs to be in there as well that we will get to, and that is one Mr. Kanye West.
Oh God, yeah, he the leader. What you talking about?
Right.
And Candace
So yeah, you know, I don't really feel bad for Christian. He's done when he says he's done is really from a point of he was led to believe that when Herschel decided he was going to run because they didn't want him to run, and they didn't want him to run because they knew that he was severely flawed and that his flaws would come out and embarrass everybody.
Yeah.
So he was led to believe that Herschel was going to get in front of all of that once he decided to run and basically just say, okay, y'all ain't going to be able to call all this out on me because I'm going to lay it all out in front of you. I'm going to be as transparent as possible. So then there's no way you can bring any of this back to me. Well, he didn't do that. So Christian sat there and tried to be the good soldier and promote his dad, thinking that at some point all of this was going to be put out in front. The even crazier thing is that his campaign apparently knew about this months ago, and they were just hoping that it wasn't going to come out until he got elected. Again, insulting your constituents.
Exactly.
They knew about it, and they kept saying, "Okay, ain't nobody said nothing yet."
Listen, from the moment that they said, okay, we're gonna run with Herschel Walker. Yeah. They knew everything about that man. It was possible to know.
Well, you know what they knew about Herschel Walker was this. Herschel Walker had been living in the state of Texas. So he's pulling a Dr. Oz where he was a football star at the University of Georgia, went on to play, of course, for your Cowboys and all that. And everybody knows his celebrity. Right. And it seems like now people have figured out that you can really hoodwink a lot of people into voting for you because of who they're used to seeing you as in your celebrity. Right. Whether it's Dr. Oz, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it was Jesse Ventura, whether it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, whether it was Al Franken to an extent, you gain celebrity. And then when you run, your platform is elevated. And it's easier to vote because when people see your name sitting in somebody's yard,
because of the household name.
Herschel Walker. Boy, did you remember that year when he ran for 3,000 yards and he scored all them touchdowns?
Has nothing to do with politics. Right. Has nothing to do with politics.
What they got to do with policy? Because he sat there and shed off tackles and stiff arm people and everything else. You know what that means to me? Bro might have CTE. That's all that means. And when you listen to him talk, you really do wonder, did he take one too many hits? Because
I know he did. I know he did.
Are so incoherent. It's almost like interviewing a boxer after a match. After a 12-round match and his brain is scrambled, you're like, so, what did you think about a match? Oh, what match?
Well, I would like to thank the Lord Jesus for letting me go in there and get my brain.
I've been redeemed. Don't ask me about the match.
Stop, bro. Stop. You can't. I feel like how Lord is looking right now. I feel like how Lord is looking right now. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Why'd you keep taking the punches? Why'd you get hit like that? Don't ask me that, bro.
I mean, he hit me with some good ones. I mean, he hit me with some good ones, but I was able to recover.
I've always had this tick. What you talking about? You know what, fellas? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now. Next time your wife sit there and ask you a question that you don't want to answer,
I would like to take my Lord Jesus.
I've been redeemed. You're muted.
Lord,
and
your
that's
mic
the
is
best thing
muted,
in the
baby.
world.
Lord,
If you decide to do that, I'm just gonna keep pressing on and keep asking you.
No,
I'm just gonna annoy the hell out of you.
No,
Just because
if you keep asking, I'm gonna redirect like Herschel and be like, listen, you're just trying to bring up my past to hurt me. But I love the Lord Jesus Christ, and I've been redeemed.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you down.
I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna go to work tomorrow and do that. Hey, Brian, you didn't turn in your work and everything. Look, why y'all bringing up the past like that? I've been redeemed.
I've been redeemed.
Matter of fact, Erica, would you go ahead and order us a couple of shirts that say I've been redeemed?
I've been redeemed. Oh, Lord.
Obviously, that means that I'm absolved of anything. So I'm going to the Uptown Cabaret.
But you know what? This now, honestly, Brian, this does remind me just that I've been redeemed part. Can I stay on that just a little while longer? I just did a live show just on last week with my co-host Dwayne.
Yeah.
And we was basically saying pretty much what you're saying now. Just because you are forgiven does not excuse that you are accountable free.
Thank you.
You still have to be accountable.
Right.
Yes, you can be forgiven. You know what? I put it like this. Let's look at it from a parent to a child point of view. Okay. You're still going to forgive the child for whatever they did, whatever that wrong was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to excuse that butt whooping, or it's not going to excuse that punishment.
Oh, yeah, no, that's your ass.
You're still holding them accountable.
Yeah, that's your ass.
That's it, y'all. That's
it.
It's just as simple as that. I love you, but I'm going to get in that ass. That's it.
That's it. Exactly. So, but it's just, it's almost laughable at how the hypocrisy is just so overbearing, because they raised in that first day that this whole new story came out, they raised $500,000 on behalf of Herschel Walker playing the victim about the left is coming for him about him paying for an abortion.
Wow.
He raised $500,000. His campaign raised $500,000 off of that. Now, that doesn't surprise me, because I'm old enough to remember just a few years back when we had a candidate in the state of Alabama named Roy Moore, who was credibly accused of inappropriate actions with underage girls, even as young as 13 years old. And Republicans still came out to vote for him for the Senate. Now, Doug Jones actually ended up winning that seat, but barely. Turned Alabama Democratic just for that one term, but they preferred Roy Moore. Now, this is the same party that will tell you that they're worried about your kids going to school and being groomed by woke teachers and woke schools and everything else. They'll talk about the pedophilia on the left and how they're drinking baby blood and all this QAnon stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We have credible pedophiles, whether it's Matt Gaetz, whether it's Roy Moore or any of these other folks. Nah, not so much. So the hypocrisy is always there, where you're outraged until you're not.
Right.
Clutching your pearls till it's just one guy. I want, or to, as Dana Loesch puts it, because it was a skank that got the abortion. Now, I mean, for one,
I can say, and what's up with the name calling, bro? Like,
okay, and see here, okay, and maybe I'm being too deep with what she did though. But so a black man sitting there getting a woman pregnant, she's a skank.
Or is she mad because it wasn't her? Like, what invoked that name calling?
It was a way to kind of excuse the action, because she's not a real person. She's a skank. So why would you want to bring a skank baby into this world anyway?
Because skank baby lives don't matter, like, I guess, versus regular lives matter.
What say, Lori?
What say, Lori, baby? Your mic, baby.
Sorry, the echo was coming. I thought it was from me. I was saying that, it's really about white lives matter. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so great transition, Lori. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, you starting to get okay with this. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick because I didn't get a chance to make the copy and everything else, but I'm gonna show y'all something that's really been ticking me off.
Oh man.
At a fashion show in Paris, Kanye West decided to show up with Candace Owens like this. And I don't know about y'all, but I was listening to a couple of folks commentating, and they were more like, hey, is this really a problem? Or, is it just Kanye being Kanye or anything like that? And I'm going to be straight up with y'all. It pissed me the hell off. And it pissed me off for a couple of reasons. Kanye already been on thin ice with me. Even the biggest thing that he did that was stupid was basically accusing slaves of being in slavery and saying that they had a choice to be slaves, which is one of the most ignorant, uneducated things that you could say, and carry water for those that have excused slavery, that are trying to erase slavery from the history books to try to reclassify it as some kind of indentured servitude or voluntary servitude, is just ignorant at best. And you're already working with one of the biggest grifters out there that basically lines her pockets, basically demonizing other African Americans.
Exactly.
And now he's gone full Candace Owens. And the whole thing is and he had a reason for wearing it, he said, and I watched the reason, and that was just even worse. Because it was supposed to represent, according to him, the idea that what if one day white people were becoming extinct? He said that. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't watch it. I'm glad I did not watch it.
I know. That almost, I harken back, and I'm saying harken back. I'm gonna harken back to Anthony's previous comment about wanting to punch somebody in the face, because that's crazy. So now you're making white folks think that the replacement theory is a real thing.
Exactly.
And CJ, what I really would want Kanye to do before he puts on that shirt again, I want him to go and talk to Trayvon Martin's mother. I want him to go talk to Sandra Bland's family, Ahmaud Arbery's family, Tamir Price's family, George Floyd's family.
Exactly.
And see if they think that shit funny.
Listen, whether it was meant to be a political stunt, joke, or whatever, some shit just ain't funny.
No.
Okay. And when I saw it, I mean, I did see the freeze frame of it. I did not. As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, hell no, I won't even entertain it. The reason why is because when we do view it, because that's all it takes, you are giving it more power, and that's what its marketers want.
But
like I've heard it several times through other platforms. Oh, he's a genius. He's a genius. He's a genius. He don't really mean this. He don't really mean this. Oh, he's a genius. He's a marketing genius because he knew it was going to invoke buyers, or he knew it was going to invoke conversation. As much stuff, I'm sorry, guys, as much stuff as we have got going on right now, today, as it is, and like you were saying, to your point, B, still making a mockery of the Black Lives Matter movement itself.
Correct.
Not talking about the women that took advantage of it and everything else. Not talking about that. But the movement itself, waking people up and saying, hey, we are human beings. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
We bleed blood like you do. And stop feeding into all the negative stereotypes that you see.
Yep.
We are already 300 years behind. We're trying to play catch up.
I really would like to invoke the powers of Black Twitter And all these people that have made the decision that, again, with Kanye and the choices that he makes or whatever, whether it's for marketing or for promotion. But I feel at this point, anybody supporting anything that he wears, music, this one is absolutely, it is a hypocrisy as a person of color, as a Black person. I've never really liked his clothes or anything else, nor I thought he was a genius. But you're going to insult my intelligence about White Lives Matter. And I was like, even though his ex-wife is not, she's half white. So your children are are Black. So
your children are Black. I don't care how light skinned their complexions are.
They are. So
they are Black.
You are insulting your mother who worked so hard before she died and got sick. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's not funny. Okay, so yeah, so I'm with you, B. I got angry immediately. I didn't have to look into it. I did not have to investigate it. As soon as I saw it and I saw his name attached to it, I was immediately angry.
And you know what?
But I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised.
And being right next to Candace Owens doing it and smiling about it, because she's already made it clear that if she has to sit there and demonize her own race to make money, she'll do it. So I'm sure when he sat there and held that shirt up to her, she about pissed on herself to put that shirt on.
Because let's address what Anthony had just asked. Now, I don't know if that's sarcasm or whatnot, but no, I don't think Kanye is trying to be white. But what he is doing is that he has gone full-blown capitalist, like extreme capitalist, to where he'll put out anything, he'll say anything, he'll put out any product just for shock value.
Shock value, yeah.
This is just for shock value. That's it.
And you know what?
He knows he's gonna make.
When you do shock value, that's not sitting there crapping on people that died for the crime of being Black.
Exactly.
That's one thing. But when you're taking a whole movement and you're devaluing it and diluting it and prostituting it,
right?
Basically saying, that whole thing when Black Lives Matter was coming around, they say Black Lives Matter, and then you get these people to say all lives matter and stuff like that. Basically saying, yeah, of course lives matter. Do they? Because Black folks don't represent the majority in this world, but they the ones that disproportionately get gunned down by police.
Exactly.
So do they really matter? So you're pushing a narrative that a lot of those folks on that side want to be pushed anyway, and you're gladly carrying their water.
Exactly. It's just like my mind is going back. B, I don't know if you remember this show or not. It was like one of our earlier shows that we did, and I can't remember whether it was my platform or yours. But you remember we had it was that.
Okay, I'm going to buy yours out anyway.
Say what?
It's okay. I'm going to buy yours out anyway. You'll be
please do, sir. Please do. Real talk. Have my people get your people, and we gonna talk about it. But anyway, so check it out, my man. My mind is going back to that designer, the ignorant. I want to cuss so bad. The ignorant designer that came out with the nooses.
Yes.
That's the one I'm thinking about.
Oh, yeah. We did it here. Yeah.
Okay. And then now my mind is going back even further than that, going back to the Willie Lynch. Bro, listen, it's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
We just keep going over the same things. It takes on a different face. It said kind of differently, but we're addressing the same old things. And that's how we know we're not going nowhere. We're really just spinning our tires in the mud.
You're right, CJ. And the thing that really just pisses me off is Kanye West if he didn't do anything else for the rest of his life, would never have to want for anything.
Never.
His children will never have to want for anything. So the thing that I really want to know, how much more money do you need, and how much worth it is it to sell out your whole damn race just to make another dollar? How much
dollar that he won't even be alive to see?
I mean,
Listen,
the platform that you're on, the things that you've been able to do, the things you've been able to experience, the access you've been given just because of your name alone. You don't even have to say your last name. People know you by either your full first name or the last two letters of it, and you still have unlimited, unfeathered access. How much more name ID do you need to sell out your whole damn race?
Bro, it goes back to the human race just flat out being just insatiable. We cannot be satisfied.
I mean,
we cannot. It doesn't matter what your taste is. We are just insatiable by nature. We can never have enough.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna actually start doing polls and stuff just to kind of get more of your feedback. But if I was to do a poll, are you okay with Kanye West? Are you still going to support Kanye West? I don't have a poll up, but please feel free to leave that in the chat box, even as we move on to the next topic. And the reason I got to move over to the next topic, because I'm going to start throwing out a bunch of Uncle Tom Coons and everything else. And they're probably appropriate stuff. So as a little dig too, Wakanda Forever comes out next month. We'll be glad to see that. I don't know if y'all seen the latest trailer of that, but it was, you know what? I'm gonna admit this live. I've never watched a trailer that almost brought me to tears. And it was because if you watch the latest trailer for Wakanda Forever, you can see that they're going to play a huge tribute to Chadwick.
Oh man, I don't know if I can watch
it. So they're bringing Chadwick and Black Panther together as one person. And when you watch that 2-minute clip, even though there's other action scenes in it, there's a part in it where you're like, okay, it's going to be a little deep when I go to the movie theater. You can already tell. And look, I'm a grown ass man, but I'm gonna go ahead and admit that there's gonna be a few tears.
Listen,
because I started feeling them watching the trailer. If you ain't seen the trailer, don't look at it now because you're looking at me. After the show, Anthony already said it. That teaser trailer made me cry, bro.
Really? I'm glad I haven't seen it yet, y'all.
Watch it after the show, because thinking about it, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be all over the place in that movie theater as far as my emotions.
And you call me a wuss?
No. This ain't about being a wuss though. I mean, Ryan Coogler, I know that was his dude, so he was gonna make sure that he represented Chadwick. I mean, the whole crew did. I mean, they all loved him and stuff like that. So it is Wakanda Forever. That's gonna be real dope. I haven't been out to the movies lately, but as soon as that comes out, I'm there. That's gonna be
cool. I just say I am not. I stopped going out to the movies a long time ago, but this is another one of those ones I am willing to.
I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do it.
I'm
popcorn. And then Lord, when we go to New York in December, we're probably gonna end up watching it again. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can already tell that's gonna be one of those we're gonna watch again. And pay $60 to go to the movies.
Yeah, go ahead and just break out the $100 bill. Concessions.
When you're in New York, it's gonna cost you about $60, $65 to go watch a movie. The tickets ain't cheap, bro. But,
hey man, Charlotte is getting there, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Charlotte is getting there.
Well,
we looking at New York prices right about now, man. Have you ate a combo recently here in Charlotte?
Yeah,
I thought I was back in New York.
Well, you know, I was talking to some people, and some of the housing prices are starting to get like New York, except for the square footage is a little bit bigger, but the overall rent prices are getting crazy, like $1,800 to $2,200 a month for rent for an apartment that you'll never own or have any equity in, which is absolutely crazy.
And I do like my brother's posting, by the way. I hope he's watching. I loved his post when he put up this little post about like how people say that they don't really want to do a lease, but then rent is 100%. Jermaine's post, because I do follow my brother.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a really nice post that says, like, I guess, like a mortgage is only like what, like 10% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're not willing to pay that, but rent is 100%. That was deep.
Yeah. He's something else. But no, it's true. And Anthony said, Black people cry for Black Panther passing away the same as when white people cry for Iron Man. Anthony, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, Iron Man was touching, bro. I
ain't gonna lie.
Iron Man was very touching for me.
I cried.
Well, Lori, I mean, you.
I was okay. You know what?
Okay, let's just be honest. You cry over the Golden Girls, So
I do not.
Let's just keep it real. If I play violin music right now, you'll be boo-hooing in like 5 seconds.
No, I will not.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. When Iron Man passed, just because of everything that built up to them coming back and defeating Thanos, for Tony to lose his life as a result of that, was pretty deep, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, I was like, ooh, man, hold on. Where did that come from?
Even when Black Widow jumped off that daggum cliff.
Bro, man, don't talk about that part. Don't talk about that part. Don't talk about that part, bro.
There was some depths that kind of got me. Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Right?
You wasn't supposed to do that.
That's why I know Black Panther gonna be like a whole nother level. Because he didn't just die. He didn't die on screen. He died for real.
Yeah.
We lost somebody that we were already attached to outside of Black Panther. And when he became Black Panther, that just kind of amped it up a whole nother level.
And there will be another person that can do James Brown. Like
yeah, he did. I have to say, he did play some James Brown.
I didn't even see him as the actor no more. Like, he suddenly became like James Brown.
He did that with Thurgood Marshall. He did that with Jackie Robinson.
Yes, he did.
Bro,
absolutely.
Everything he did, like, you can actually see the people that he was acting to. I was like, that dude was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's in character times 10. That's embodying somebody. That's
for real.
Really becoming and transitioning into that person. That as somebody that does acting, that is not just a given. That's not something easy to do, to just basically walk. When you talk about walking in somebody's shoes,
right?
Really walking in people's shoes and being that person, and your mannerisms, the way that you act, the way you respond, certain little twitches that you have and you do. Those are things that you have to really study and pick up. It's not about just memorizing a bunch of lines. It's about taking on that whole persona of that person. Black people can we support the movie theaters and buy some snacks, not bring a whole meal from home. See, Anthony.
Now, see, there you go. There you go.
What I don't like. So I would imagine what he's saying is what he doesn't like is when people sit there and bring everything in from the outside into the movie theater. Now, I ain't gonna lie, my mama used to do that too. She used to buy all the snacks from the dollar store.
I did it.
Stuff them in her pocketbook, because she was like, "You think I'll pay that for that? You out your mind."
Good job, sis.
I will say we can support the movie theater, but the movie theaters ain't got to sit there and charge 2.5 times cost for some goobers. And I know your wife loves goobers and popcorn.
Oh yes.
Ain't got to charge that much for no goobers.
And cherry Coke.
And cherry Coke. And you don't have to charge that much for popcorn because popcorn is cheap. Yeah. You could give away popcorn and still make money off concessions. You could say for every this or that you buy, we'll give you a bag of popcorn, and you would still make head over heels in concessions. Yeah. Now, the thing that I do understand is, and I understand why they do it is, and a lot of people don't understand this, it's almost like a gas station. People think that gas stations make a lot of money off of gas. They do not. This is the price that they pay back to the gas companies. The reason that they bring the gas in there is because they're hoping that by anchoring the gas to their store, it will bring you into their store to buy their products.
Right.
They don't make money off the gas. They make money off of their products. So they're hoping that while you're filling up and everything, you'll come in and get a soda and get some jujubes and all this other stuff, because that's how they make their money. They're not making their money off when the gas prices go up. It's not the mom and pop gas stations making money. It's the gas companies.
Yeah, it is.
Okay? So keep
Thank
that
you for bringing that to light, my bro.
Movie theater is that when they say, hey, we're going to put our film in your theater and you charge these prices for the tickets, a lot of times they're not making that much off of those tickets. They're doing that to basically get you in there so you'll buy concessions. I do get that. Before we get into what I don't like, I just wanted to say Katanji Brown Jackson just started her first week at the Supreme Court, and she's already having to hear a case. Is it Alabama, Lori?
Yes, it is.
All right. In the case of Alabama, where they're basically trying to talk about adding extra districts for African Americans to represent more African Americans instead of basically stuffing them into one district and not having equal representation based on the percentage of African Americans in the state. So she's hearing those arguments right now, and she's doing really good pushing back on Gorsuch and some of the other justices on the other side of the court. So she's doing a good job there. Also, want to give props to my man, my personal friend, Mr. Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees, for hitting home run number 62 without any steroids. Anyway, as of right now, there is no asterisk behind the 62 that Mr. Judge has hit. Yankees, Brian Cushman, the whole Yankee organizations, the Steinbrenners, y'all didn't pay that man at the beginning of the season. It's going to cost you more to keep him now, because he went out there after y'all told him y'all ain't going to give him his $20-something million a year. He done sat there and hit 62 home runs. And so you're going to have to pony up or you're going to lose him. If you lose him, we're going to have a problem in New York. Okay? Especially if the Mets try to make a play for him. That's going to be a problem. They may burn
money. They ain't got enough money for that, but go ahead.
The Bronx may not survive this. I'm just saying. This could be a problem in the Bronx. Pay this man. Also wanted to bring out Hurricane Ian came through last week, devastated Fort Myers, Naples, a lot of South Florida. A lot of places are going to be Judge going back home to the Giants. Hell to the no. They got hit very, very hard down there. Just watching people being helpless, watching their possessions just float away into the ocean, cars, their boats, their parts of their house just washing away. And they couldn't do a thing about it. Bridges just washing away. Y'all, if y'all don't think climate change is real, I don't know what to tell you. The waters are heating up and it's making these storms a lot more violent. It was 7 miles an hour short of being a Cat 5 hurricane. With winds over 65 miles an hour, and it did what those violent things do. Please keep the people in South Florida in your prayers. If you can and you want, please donate to the Red Cross and do all that we can. They help our brothers and sisters down there that are struggling, that they just watched their whole life float away. I couldn't even imagine.
Literally. Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine. And now Ron DeSantis, the governor, now it is politics back to it, but it is just something worthy to note that Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida. But before Ron DeSantis was the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis was a congressman from Florida, that one of the first acts he did in Congress was to say no for relief for one Hurricane Sandy that affected New Jersey and New York. So you piece of crap, you piece of crap legislatures that will sit there and vote down stuff because they're in blue states. Remember, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Hey,
now you got to sit there and ask Sleepy Joe. I'm sorry, was he awake enough when he approved FEMA for your ass? Was he awake enough when he sat there and said we're going to bring federal relief to Florida until everybody has been put back whole again? Was he sleepy enough for you, Ron?
Right, exactly.
See, you got to be careful who you sitting there talking. Because if you had done that to Trump was petty enough to sit there and withhold funds from you like he did with COVID relief.
Exactly.
Because if you didn't tap dance enough for Trump, he wasn't going to give you ventilators and this and that and the other early on in the COVID pandemic. Luckily, we got Democrats in office that don't sit there and play political games with people's lives.
With people's lives, exactly.
In there, and DeSantis had been bad-mouthing him, man, them people better get some flippers and some goggles, or hold your hands out so he can sit there and throw some bread or whatever at you.
And paper towels.
Paper towels. Yeah, throw some paper towels at you. It's all you're going to get out of them. Speaking of paper towels, also we have to also remember that Puerto Rico is still trying to rebuild as well. These hurricanes are indiscriminate. They do not care what party you are on. They will come through and come for you and everything that you have built over your life. So
here's the thing.
Those people.
And here's the thing that I really do want for people to understand. Even our people that live in Tornado Alley, like so all through Texas and everything, when you hear on the news that a natural disaster is coming through, or you're in an area that you're known that these disaster areas have known to been hit, please get over your pride and get out. Please get out.
If they're able to.
I saw
to go.
I know that now tornadoes are very unpredictable. They are very unpredictable. You don't know what's going to drop, fall, split, all that stuff. But a hurricane you can pretty much track. The reason why I say this is because I was kind of on the fence with my emotions with this one particular story that I heard about. This man stayed in his boat because he thought he was just going to ride it out.
Yeah,
it was kind of hard for me to feel for him because he was willfully. And so if you want to bring up that I don't like, that's going to be one of my first I don't like. I don't like people that are willfully trying to be a victim of life-threatening circumstances like that. Are you trying to make a martyr of yourself? Like, I don't understand.
No, I'll tell you, CJ, and I agree with you to a point. Now, there are some people that financially can't leave.
Right. Okay. I get that.
They don't have the resources to just load up their car and go stay in a hotel because they barely got enough. See, this is the problem that ties back to politics. When people are living paycheck to paycheck, they don't make enough money for emergencies.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because everything that they make, they have to then spend it back out on other stuff.
Right.
This is why there's a problem with income inequality. Because you're right. People should be able to say, hey, I need to be able to budget for a hurricane. And in the event I got to scoop up my family and take them to a hotel for a week, I can do that without not making a car payment, not paying my mortgage, not buying groceries,
and
not
things
getting
like that should automatically be factored in too.
And everything else. So there's a lot of stuff that's built in for that. A lot of people that could just go away to their winter homes and this and that and the other day, they probably just did that. But there's a lot of people that my whole life is tied into that house.
Right.
Everything, I grew up in that house. My kids grew up in that house. Some people have that attachment to things. So to that point, I get what you're saying, that they got to sit there and say, look, life got to mean more than possessions and you got to go.
And so that's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I know you do. I know that's where you're coming from.
So in other words, value your life more than the things that you can replace. You don't want to replace it. I get it. You don't want to replace it. You don't want to start over, but it's not worth your life.
If not, Lori, it's that time. We got 4 minutes. Let's get it.
You can start.
Oh, okay. I'm just waiting for you to cue it in. All right, Erica, Anthony, let us know what it is that you don't like. Anybody else out there, tell us what it is that you don't like. CJ, go ahead. I know you got one for me.
Pedestrians acting like they own the road whenever they cross the street. I'm trying to be nice to you, number one. I see you. You're not in the crosswalk. I slow my car down just so you can go ahead and cross the street. Cross it expeditiously. Don't act like you got all the time in the world whenever I didn't hit you, but I promise you, you will feel the back of my mirror brush across your ass the next time you want to act like that I'm supposed to just give you the right of way when you crossing the street.
Yeah. Lori?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to pass on that one because that's. I mean, I was just going home today. I think there was some garbage man who was in the middle of the street, just kind of just hanging out, and I'm like, I'm coming at you, and it's 40 miles an hour. I can hit you, and it's gonna hurt.
Case in point.
Just scoot your ass over.
Get your ass over. Exactly.
I got a twofer for you because this happened to me last night. I was in a parking lot trying to come down the parking lot, and somebody must have saw somebody that they knew, and they just stopped in the middle of the parking lot, got out, and they were having a conversation. And I had to around them, and I'm sitting there thinking, this big ass parking lot, you can roll 20 more feet and roll into a spot and still do what you need to do. Like everybody else got. Or I was at the car wash the other day, because I got my little membership at the little Sam's car wash. So I get my car wash, I'm trying to leave, and all these cars are backed up, and there's this lady in this big ass SUV that done blocked everybody because she didn't roll up enough. I'm sitting there in New York mode, just honking the horn, and ain't nobody moving. I got out the car, and I'm like, what the bleep is going on? And this other dude that was vacuuming his car said, "Sir, it's a woman." I said, I don't give a damn. I said, I'm not going to hit her. I said, but if she can't drive that big ass car, go find you a damn Prius.
Exactly.
So what I don't like is people that don't know how to drive find the biggest cars to get in behind.
Absolutely.
You can't drive that.
And can't drive it and can't park it.
If you can't drive that bitch, park it. Call a Lyft, call an Uber. That's what you do. Don't make
literally trying to live above your means
and wait for you to figure it out. You should have figured it out before you bought the damn thing. And let me tell you this, because snow season is coming for a lot of us.
Oh,
if
God.
you drive a big SUV, let me explain something to you. Your tires are just like the tires on any other vehicle, meaning that when those tires hit black ice, it will do the exact same thing, which is to slide. What I don't like when people drive these big ass cars, number one, they go faster. And number two, they think they're invulnerable and that they're not susceptible. I don't care if you got 4-wheel drive. Let the salesman sell you on that.
Exactly.
If your tires can't get no traction on no black ice, you're going to slide just as much as anybody else, okay?
Exactly.
Just please keep that in mind. And what I also, Lord have mercy. Lord, you know what I don't like? I don't like people that think that they God's gift to us. And what I mean, just because I'm in the South, if I'm about to go into an establishment and there's somebody even 20 feet away from me, I will wait and open the door and let you in as a courtesy. Open your mouth and say thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
And stop expecting me to hold the door for you because I'm not.
And while we on that one, yes, we are in the South. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina. I make eye contact and I say, hello, how are you? Or any of those things. I don't want nothing from you, bro. Just speak back. Just say, what's up? Give it something. But don't sit up there looking at me all cross-eyed and stuff because you are no longer having, this ain't the hood.
Yeah.
And everything. Ain't nobody after you. I ain't from you. Nothing like, miss me with all those excuses. This is you in the land of Southern hospitality. Adapt to your environment.
And it's just common damn courtesy.
It ain't gonna kill you.
It's just common courtesy. How much does it cost to say hello? How much does it cost to smile? For some people, the answer to that question sounds like there is a dollar amount attached to it.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm spending my money. You need to do better. Businesses, you need to this is another last thing I don't like. I don't like rich folk that own businesses acting like their employees are just supposed to sit there and do all these different things for a little bit of money. You have sat there and held the power up against people to basically say you're going to do this, and if you don't, I got 10 other people waiting to do this job. Well, guess what? You can't say that anymore, and now you almost scared to say anything to them, because the fact that they showed up today means you ain't got to get out of bed and go do it yourself. But
you want that business to run
the right way all along, you wouldn't have to worry about that now.
Exactly.
So you made your bed, now you're going to lay in it. But if you want to continue to lay in your bed all night long and suck on your thumb or do whatever it is that you do, you need to make sure that you pay these people a livable wage. People having to sit there and go from one job to the next job because your job does not pay enough is not what we need to be about. We need to strive to do better, take care of people, so that when disasters and things like that happen, they're able to afford to be able to get away safely and not try to make decisions based on their finances. And I'll end it with that. I think that will do it right there. I'm gonna thank my panelists, Lori Lolo Parker, Mr. CJ Jones. I am Brian Parker. We will see y'all again next week. We are out of here. Peace. Hey.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.